What's up? We're Northlane from Australia. Let me start again.
Yeah, so I'm John. I play guitar and I write most of the instrumentation for Northlane.
I'm Marcus. I sing in Northlane.
It was just myself and our old bass player. We sort of connected on the internet, and we basically just sort of found people on the internet to put a band together, like I feel like most people do these days. And yeah, I'd already written a couple of songs, so we just sort of practiced those songs, and that's how it all started. When I figured out that it was sort of it was going to be used for the villains, and like the brief was like heavy, menacing, but lighthearted. The lighthearted bit was a bit of a challenge because like what we do is kind of heavy and menacing. So that was kind of fun to try and figure out a way to make it all three of those things.
I feel like at first it was kind of, it was tough to get into the mindset, but once we kind of knew where we were going, it kind of felt like there were no restrictions. Once we were like, okay, this is like a character, we could just do anything we wanted, and that was a lot of fun. It's not the kind of thing I would want to write about. Now, we're not really writing evil songs and songs that are trying about like being mean to people and stuff like that, So it was cool to be in a different mindset. But it was a bit of a challenge to get started because it's like how far can we go with it and still feel like Northlane? There was a point where there was talk of it being similar to like a Team Rocket theme song. And I was just thinking about like in that mindset of Giovanni, like the head of Team Rocket, just being evil.
It definitely like evolved gradually. I guess like my love for music just sort of started leaning into sound design and like electronic music.
I think it was like we were all pretty different in the things we like as well, which I think kind of over time they've all kind of blended a bit more as opposed to being like, what is the Northlane sound or whatever. It's like what
do we want?
What do we want to do and what can we put into it? So I think as time has gone on, that's kind of also helped create something a bit more unique.
Earlier in the process, Jeff showed me some of him playing it. Once he told me that it was more or less going to be cut up, and that he actually needed slightly different versions of sections in the track as well. Like he talked in terms of energy, like something like this, but now just bring the energy down a little bit. So that was kind of cool to make these like slight variations that I knew didn't actually need to be in the single. They could just be their own thing.
First game I feel like I remember playing was Tetris on my parents' Game Boy. But then the first game I played as like my own game was like Disney's Hercules.
Oh, I played that
on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I did too.
I remember that. So Hercules.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite.
I feel like if I was to call it my favorite game, I would have to have played it. I'd have to pick one of the ones that I've played like more than once. And Ghost of Tsushima is one of them. I feel like I'm at that stage in my career now where I want to do more than just music for band purposes. There's so many other cool things you can do in those other mediums like video games and film and television.
And I think for a lot of us in our kind of scene, I guess, like we've all grown up on video games with kind of soundtracks that have influenced our musical tastes along the way. We were actually talking about it the other day. So to be a part of something like this is really exciting.